Should I be saying this? She has the potential to be what you want, you know, her to be. My rule is, I think under 25, you have to subtract 5 to 7 years. We're going to be reacting to this video about fetishes here in Japan and what girls really like, or what they say they like, or what they think they like, or stuff that they've never thought about before that they're just answering random questions about. But let's check it out and see what answers they come up with. I'm really interested to see first where they're interviewing these girls, who they are, how old they are, and just, you know, whether they're actually talking about real fetishes or just imagining.
フェチありますか？
フェチ、筋肉。
筋肉。どんな筋肉？
腕組んだ時のここ。
ああ、前の前腕のね。
モリってしてるのが。
それゴリマッチョ好きなんだ。
ゴリマッチョ。でもむっちりぐらいのマッチョが好き。
Okay, so the first girl, she's not really talking about her fetish. In English, it sounds more like a sexual fetish, but she's more talking about her preference or something that, you know, she looks for in a guy, like a point that really like makes her attracted to a guy. It's nothing like a turn on. I think the words are really, don't really have equal weight here. Like, she doesn't seem like a highly sexualized girl in the first place. She just seems like guys she thinks are hot or attractive or, you know, I don't know if it's an old word, but metrosexual, if you will. And so guys who look cool, but not necessarily she wants to jump in bed with. I want to see what her friend says though.
何フェチなんだろうか。なんか匂いとか好きそうだよね。
臭い人は嫌ですけど。
まあそらそうみんなそうだ。ああ、俺みたいな感じだね。あ、そうでしょ。
じゃあ血管で。血管で。
まあ合わせた瞬間に。
Okay, she has no experience with guys at all. She might have had a boyfriend or two, but she's not really thinking physically at all about guys. She probably is the type of, she seems like in her early 20s, so she thinks of men in an abstract kind of way. Like, she can hypothetically understand what a fetish is, and she can hypothetically understand what being, you know, really physically attracted to a guy is, but it's not at the forefront of her mind. You know, her other friend seems not to be that type as well, but she's more in tune to, you know, what her preferences in guys. The other one, she might never have even had a boyfriend, to be honest with you, or just dated a guy in like high school or something like that. But, you know, she might even be, I don't know, she might even never had any experience in the bedroom, to be honest with you. But again, I'm not judging her. This is just my first impression based on the video. There is a difference between those two girls, but I both put them in the same kind of naive category. Like, they're not so much like, you know, hyper like sexual in that way. It's just more like, okay, one thinks guys are hot and kind of thinks about them and looks at guys, you know, on the street, and maybe even gets like hit on by guys. The other one's kind of like more of a plain Jane. It's just like, guys? Fetish? She has no idea what she's talking about.
血管と筋。
血管と筋。
筋。ここの筋。こう腕組んだ時のこの見える筋が好き。筋肉が好き。
Okay, so it's a group of 3 of them. Like, for me, if I were single and younger, of course, I know I'm 42, but if I were back in the day, I would probably go for the third one. She seems the most level-headed of the two. The first one seems a little bit too in her own world. The second one is way too naive and probably way too much effort to really get with. But the third one, she's more of a balance. You know, she level-headed, pretty serious. She's not like over sexualized or stuff like that, but also she's not overly innocent. She's more serious, down-to-earth girl. She's pretty cute too. So like, if they were like, I was in a club or a bar or something like that, the third one is definitely the one I would go for, because she's, you know, not flashy, not overly flashy. The first one, she's overly flashy, which makes me think she's looking superficially at style, but on the inside, you can tell like she's not really that experienced or serious. And the second one just has no idea. The third one, though, that's the winner in my opinion. She doesn't seem to know like exactly what fetish she has. She's, just copying what she's heard from her other friends, which makes me believe like she's had boyfriends, but maybe they weren't so good in the sack. So she probably hasn't had like really, earth life-changing experiences in the bedroom. But because of her personality, if you are good in the sack, she's probably gonna be really, really happy about it, and you'll see a whole different side to her. That's why she has the more potential to be. Should I be saying this? She has the potential to be what you want, her to be, to go for the gold, if you know what I'm saying.
もう殴ってもどれだけ殴っても大丈夫で、お腹の上で飛んだりしても大丈夫な人がいい。
ああ、もう屈強な男に。
そうそうそう。トトロみたい。トトロと付き合いたい。
トトロと付き合いたい。
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. The first one with the red hair, she kind of annoys me, to be honest with you. She, she seems like she's had guys placate her a bit. She's gotten attention from guys because, of her personality. She's kind of galu a little bit, but she sees guys as kind of like a plaything, like as herself on top of guys, not physically. I'm just saying, like, status wise, she sees guys, maybe taking her out, offering her dinner and things like that, hitting on her, trying to nampa or pick up on her. So she doesn't really have like a serious image of guys, but again, she doesn't seem really that serious in life. She doesn't seem that like, with it. Like she seems kind of shallow in that way. Again, the third one with the kind of brown hair, she's more like a winner, in my opinion.
お姉さんちょっと書いてもらっていい？ちょっとさらっと。あ、ごめんなさい。あ、でもいいわ。一回さらっとさらっと。あ、でも香水だこれは。あ、そうです。あ、すごい。白とか。いや、イヴ・サンローランね。イヴ・サンローランね。レベル高いね、イヴ・サンローラン。
Yeah, the one with the black hair, she's kind of awkward around guys. Not in a bad way, like if I were seriously trying to date someone or find someone to like kick it to, she would be receptive to attention to guys, but it would just be like pulling teeth going out on a date with her. She just doesn't know what to do. She's really inexperienced. If that's someone who's really your type, if you come to Japan and you see someone like that who's really your type, if she's probably alone, or like if with one of her friends and you have a buddy that you're with at a bar or a club, you could be I would be the wingman and probably go after her. Or if she's the one that you really like, yes. But my feeling is if she's by herself, for example, talking to a foreign guy, she'd probably be really intimidated unless you have good Japanese skill. But with one friend, and if you and another buddy are going at her, then your chances of success or getting her number or something like that, not like success in the bedroom, we're getting away from fetishes, but just success in the bedroom would probably be success getting her number or like hollering at her, it would be a lot higher. But then again, for me personally, going on a date with someone like this wouldn't really be worth it at all, just because it would just be a lot of teeth pulling. But the third one, she seems like a lot of fun. She probably might not be able to speak English though, but if you can speak some Japanese, and you can bridge the gap with her, like show her that it's fine, you can communicate, then she would be more open to, dating someone that's outside of her wheelhouse. All right, we've got another set of girls. It looks like he's in Harajuku because the IKEA is right there. So it looks like he's posted up in front of Harajuku Station. These girls look way too young to be thinking about fetishes at all. Like, again, fetchy is kind of a light word in Japanese, so they're not talking about turn-ons at all. She's talking about collarbone. Let's see if she is actually like the type of fetch that I'm talking about. I can't see her face, so it's kind of difficult for me to judge her personality. The friend to the right, she just seems more like a playful, like late teens maybe. So I don't think they're really serious about guys at all. But let's find out.
フェチありますか？
フェチ？鎖骨？
あ、やっぱ鎖骨ね。多いねやっぱね。
腹筋。はい。
マッチョ好き？あんま。お腹だけ。お腹だけ大事なんだ。はい。あー、すっごいじゃん。すっごいじゃん。すっごいじゃん。
すごいじゃん。 No, she's just like, "Oh, wow, you have a six-pack." Not like, "Ooh, let me touch it," like how kinda Western girls are. Yeah, these are just, they're teenagers, and my rule, if you don't know, if you haven't heard my podcast, my rule is, I think under 25, you have to subtract 5 to 7 years, from the age of girls. So, like, if let's say these girls are 19, right? Western thinking, I'll just say American thinking, they probably have the mentality of what, 19, 14-year-old girls in the West. So they kind of think about guys, but not deeply. They might have had some experiences, but they're not like mature women mentally. So even though they're having this type of conversation, it's not really registering deep within them about what he's saying. Even like him showing his six pack to him, the reaction is not nearly as switched on as maybe a Western woman of the same age might have. So yeah, I mean, he just chose some people who would give him an interview, but man. Let me know with the comment if you want me to do more of these videos. I'm enjoying doing them. Also, before I forget, I recently released my own apparel line on my Shopify website, so check it out. There's a link in the comments or a link below if you'd like.
鎖骨はこんな鎖骨
どんな鎖骨浮き出てる感じ。
骨の太さとか
骨の太さ
もうゴリゴリでもうでかい方がいいのか、それともなんか俺みたいにシュッとしてる方がいいのか。
シュッとしてる人。
Oh, my mistake. They're actually in Shibuya. I could tell by the architecture of the buildings. So I guess there's IKEA in Shibuya now. Again, I haven't been there in a long time. But yeah, those girls, they're teens. They're really immature. You can tell the one with the hand fan, she's just kind of like shy about the camera, just like, in her own little world. Probably her friend dragged her to do the interview, and she's not really with it at all. If you're trying to meet girls, like any girls who make these type of reactions, don't really waste your time with them. If you go back and look earlier at the one who I say was my favorite, her atmosphere was very serious. She was very like shikari like in kind of mentally put together, if you will, is kind of how I would describe her. So yeah, it's night and day, completely night and day if you really pay attention to their atmosphere.
フェチありますか？フェチ。
匂い。
匂い。
鎖骨。
匂い、どんな匂い？
合うか合わないか。
なんか香水とか人工的なじゃなくて、その人の。
もう大事だけど、その人の匂い。
どんな匂い？
わかんない。
説明できない。
So yeah, the last ones are again maybe early 20s kind of girls. They don't really seem interested in the interview at all. Probably they're just like, all right, whatever. I think this conversation would be better in a different area, like Omotesando, for example, where the women are much more mature, have more experience dating guys, but they might not be as willing to be on camera talking about this type of subject. That's the thing, because Japanese women generally are more shy about this kind of stuff. So younger girls, it's like a balancing act. They're young, but they're willing to be on camera, but they don't really have any meaningful answers to what they're trying to say. And so again, the translation of the word fetish doesn't really hold the weight that it does in Japanese. You can talk about people's fetish. You can talk about fetishes with Japanese people quite a bit, and you'll get a wide variety of answers. Like, we don't really talk about fetishes like in English openly like this, but the word is very different. The word is very, very different. So just keep that in mind. And of course, the original video is right here. And here's another video breaking down some other Japanese videos if you like.